Okay, so about 500 years ago, a fellow called Nicholas Copernicus, you'll notice Nick, which means the devil, is in his name twice. Nicholas Copernicus. Same as Galileo Galilei, which means to move. Fancy that. They were his last words when he recanted. He whispered, and yet it moves. Well, that's what Galileo Galilei means. To move, to move. These guys were all Jesuits. The Jesuits began their New World Order with their new model of the globe, because the Old World Order, according to the Egyptians, the Mayans and everybody else, including the Australian Aboriginals, had a stationary horizontal plane. Yes, your ancestors, or you globies, your ancestors 500 years ago knew the truth. And were they stupid? I don't think so. Have a look at some of the cathedrals getting around that are about 2,000 years old. Have a look at the pyramids. We can't replicate them today. If they knew how to do that, they knew what the earth was. Copernicus came along, the Jesuit, I'm going to show you that right now, and changed it. That's why we have something called the Copernican Revolution. Please go to Wikipedia and put in the Copernican Revolution, because all of you astrologers who think the moon is a rock and that practice heliocentric astrology, Satanists and liars, when all your astrological programs, they're all geocentric. Why are they geocentric? Why is astrology all geocentric? That's the default setting on all the applications and websites. So I'm calling out all you global astrologers as well. You're liars, you're Satanists, you're false prophets. So check out Copernican Revolution. These people are involved in a revolution. It's called the New World Order, based on the globe, the false idol, which generates all these ideologies. Globalism, global community, global lockdowns, global religion, global governance, global finance, global warming. When there is no globe? Oh, well, yes, there is. There's on your kindergarten teacher's desk. That's where you'll find the globe. Yeah.
And what to say on the bottom of the sticker? Not for educational purpose.
Exactly, and on the bottom it will tell you not for educational purposes, which means if you're a dunce enough to think that you live on this space ball, Santa ball, the Santa ball, well then you're an idiot, and that's education. Mark Twain said, I spent years educating myself and years unbrainwashing myself.
Yeah.
So here's the history of Copernicus, friends. Please go to Wikipedia and put in the words Pope Paul III. And you'll find that his name was Alessandro Farnese. Would that be one of the richest elite black nobility Venetian families of history, who came from Persia to Rome? The Farnese family? Would that be the same family that, together with the Borgia family, created the Jesuits in 1539, and then Copernicus posthumously, after he died, Copernicus, the supposed historical Copernicus, released the book on revolutions in 1542. So what was going on in that decade? Well, it's interesting. They convened Pope Paul the Farnese, who is the great-grandfather of Fidel Castro. Castro is of the Farnese family. They own a lot of land. Trust me. A lot of the USA belongs to the Farnese family. These guys were the globalists, so they had to make a container of all the known lands that they controlled. And so they got their Jesuit boy Copernicus to create a theory, which it still is. It's called the Copernican theory, and he said it's a hypothesis. It's not to be taken as absolute truth. It's only useful to describe certain phenomena. Thank you, Copernicus. Those were his words. When we see such minds, we must indeed confess that the devil possesses them. They're Satanists. The globalists, with all their globalist agendas, are Satanists. The globe model is the new world order model, is Lucifer, Satan's model. You've all been deceived. If you're a globie, you have all been deceived. And this is the greatest lie. The bigger you tell them, the bigger they fall. He went on to say, and that God sets them before us as mirrors in order to keep us in his fear. He keeps these stupid globies as mirrors so that we refuse to submit to the herd mind and the science, which hasn't been proven, and we think for ourselves because we are intelligent. But guess who prevailed? Oh, well, they started a 30-year war, didn't they? Where they massacred these guys. The Calvinists fled to Americas, the Lutherans fled to the Americas. They all fled Europe because the Copernican revolution, the New World Order, began in the Council of Trent.